Ben was trying to leap into the future.
When fans learned the new Quantum Leap show wouldn't include Scott Bakula as part of the cast, fears that a beloved legacy science fiction TV show would go off the rails before the train even had a chance to leave the station. Quantum Leap was prematurely canceled at the end of its 5th season with the simple words, "Sam Beckett never returned home."
Let's start with the happy ending.
Not only were the fans unsatisfied by this ending, but Bakula, Dean Stockwell, who played Al, and creator Donald Bellisario spent years trying to bring the show back to bring Sam home. So when Bakula publicly passed on returning to Quantum Leap without an explanation, fans assumed the worst. Sam would never return home, and the show would be unceremoniously rebooted without any care for the original show or its story. Well, we are happy to report that nothing could be further from the truth. The current Quantum Leap continuation respects the original series so much that it's striving to put right what once went wrong. That's right, the new Quantum Leap series appears to be doing what fans have wanted for years. They are trying to bring Sam home. We believe the search for Sam is on, and we are about to blow your mind with evidence and a theory that could make it possible.
Are you sure he's...
Say it.
You know you want to say it.
So you don't want to miss this episode. And make sure you stay tuned until later, where we'll show you how Upside can help you spend less and save more.
What do you say?
And if you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please do so now. And give us a thumbs up if you want more inside knowledge about your favorite shows. And make sure you stay tuned to the end to see how to get this awesome Quantum Leap inspired graphic design from the amazing artists at mixtease.com.
Oh boy.
If Bakula not returning to his leading role in Quantum Leap has kept you from tuning into the new series, we understand why. But if you are a fan of the original show, then you are missing out on a continuation of the show you once loved. That's right, all this talk about a reboot is nonsense. Quantum Leap 2022 is not a reboot. The story has picked up nearly 30 years later, and not only do we have some legacy characters back like Beth and Magic, but we also have Al's daughter Janice.
His daughter, Janice. She wanted to follow in her father's footsteps.
The show is smart, well acted, and most importantly, well written. There is no frivolous dialogue or dead-end plot points. And most importantly, there's no nostalgia bait or member berries that doesn't also add to the story. Everything we see has a point and a purpose. The show may still be leaping us around episodically, putting things right this time with Dr. Ben's song, but we also have a serialized storyline that we believe is leading us to the whereabouts of Dr. Sam Beckett. And the recent huge news is an indicator that we might be getting Scott Bakula back to reprise his role in Season 1. But hold on to that thought for just a second.
Oh boy.
If you're watching the show, then you'll know the premise is Dr. Ben's song secretly changed a bunch of Ziggy's code and then stepped into the Quantum Leap accelerator. The irony here is that Ben wasn't supposed to be the one leaping. This was supposed to be his girlfriend Addison, who is now playing his holographic sidekick as he leaps through time. But of course, Ben doesn't know why he leaped because, just as it happened with Dr. Beckett, Ben's brain is Swiss cheese and he has a severe case of amnesia for anything plot-driven. Well done, writers.
I don't remember you, but this felt...
But even though Ben can't tell us anything, everyone else on the show can give us some great information. And one of the most important things we learned is that the person Ben was working with was Al's daughter Janice. Now, why in the world would Ben be working with Janice? Before we break down our theory, let me quickly tell you why you're going to love this video's sponsor, Upside. Inflation has us all considering different ways to cut back. Whether it's fewer trips out to fast food, fewer trips to the grocery store, or fewer trips behind the wheel, we can all agree fewer moments of happiness are happening as well. Now, thanks to Upside, you don't have to cut back. Upside gives you cash back on gas, groceries, and dining out. With our long LA commute, the Upside app gives us a way to save as much as 25 cents per gallon at the pump, and it's incredibly easy. Now we use Upside for everything. There are more than 50,000 locations that partner with Upside. To get started, Download the free Upside app in your app store and use our promo code THEPOPCAST to get $5 or more back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you are buying on Upside. Check in with the business, pay as usual with your credit or debit card, and get paid. This isn't too good to be true. We use it and it works. You can earn 3 times more money back with Upside compared to credit card rewards or loyalty programs. Cash out to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands whenever you want. Upside users are earning more than $1 million every week. Download the free Upside app and use code THEPOPCAST to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. We thought we had this show figured out after episode 5. It seemed obvious that Ben and Janice's storyline was a search for Sam. Then, with the announcement that season 1 had been given an additional 6 episodes, it became even more clear. What did Ian say? It was going to take Ben between 10 and 20 jumps to get to his destination, and closer to 20 than 10.
I would say no less than 10. Probably closer to 20.
The first season was originally only given 12 episodes, but with positive viewership, NBC added 6 more, which just so happens to be the amount of time Ben needs to get to his destination. There are a couple of reasons the studio might do this. Quantum Leap is Peacock's #1 new show, and because of that, the studio might want to capture fans returning each week for an additional month and a half. Also, the fact that it matches the length of time mentioned in the show means the studio may not have wanted to order a season 2 to complete the story, and instead extend season 1 for that purpose, and then gauge fan reaction to determine if there is a big enough following before committing to more seasons. Whatever the reason, the extension assured we wouldn't have to wait for a renewal to find out why Ben leapt early and took Addison's place. When we found out Ben was working with Janice, and Ian told us Ben was leaping to a specific location in time, we, like a lot of fans, figured he was trying to get to Sam in the bar from the original Quantum Leap finale.
Yeah, well, this is more than a bar, Al. This is where it all started.
What started?
Quantum Leap.
And just when we think we have it all figured out, Ian says, "Whoops, sorry, looks like Ben is actually trying to get to the future."
I don't think that Ben was trying to get to the past. I think that Ben was trying to leap into the future.
Well, there goes the search for Sam, right? Not so fast. A leak script on owlsplace.com for the Quantum Leap final episode described a longer alternate ending where Al steps into the Quantum Leap accelerator to go after Sam and ends up at the same bar Sam had just left. Al convinces the bartender, God, fate, time, or whoever he is to send him with Sam so he can help him. The bartender warns him that where Sam went is dangerous and far into the future, but Al still wants to go. The scene ends with Al leaping far into the future into the body of a woman, and of course then he says his old friend's tagline, "Oh boy." This would have set up season 6 had it happened. Though Belisario denied its existence, YouTuber Allison Pregler discovered photo negatives of the alternate ending. A year and a half later, the footage of this alternate ending resurfaced on Reddit, proving once and for all that the alternate scene had been shot. So we're not sure what you were up to here, Belisario, but it's real. Perhaps Dawn didn't want fans to be angry since the original ending for Quantum Leap didn't go over very well. That said, the fact that Belisario sent Bakula into the future during a hypothetical season 6 means that it actually makes complete sense that Ben is trying to get to the future in an attempt to find Sam and bring him home. Wait, hold on a second. Is Ben actually searching for Sam? Other than our overwhelming desire for it to happen and the fact that Janice seems obsessed with helping her father achieve his lifelong dream, we've really just assumed this is what Ben is doing. The harsh reality is that Ben likely isn't looking for Sam at all. And Ben sorta gave it away at the end of the first episode in his video message to Addison. As he's apologizing to her for leaving without telling her, he said,
This is bigger than us. Bigger than anything you can imagine.
So right there we know Ben isn't leaping to protect Addison or himself or even their friends, and he certainly isn't off on a rogue mission to find Sam when we know from episode 4 that Magic joined Quantum Leap to hopefully be able to bring Sam home. No, Ben says this is bigger than anything Addison can imagine. We bet Addison can imagine some pretty big things, but it drives in the point that it's something huge, something on a global or universal stage. It has to be so huge that Ben is willing to risk everything to stop it. Okay, now that we have a vague idea of what's at risk, let's take a look at our evidence. Ben went to Janice for help on what he was planning at least 6 months prior to his leap.
Ben came to me. He knocked on my door and asked for my help. None of this was my idea.
When he first started working on the new code for his mission, he lied to Addison and spent 3 days in Pasadena, California, near Caltech.
According to his phone, he left the conference early and spent 3 days in Pasadena, near Caltech.
Which in our world just so happens to host a world-leading research center in quantum information and computation. Kudos to the writers for this choice. Janice sent Ben a text telling him she sent him projections, and if he was going to do it, he had to do it now that their window is closing. Ben removed the safety protocols from Ziggy when he uploaded the new code so that he would be able to leap outside of his own lifetime. During episode 5, we learned that Ben has been following another leaper who goes by the name Martinez and in 2022 is part of the Marine Corps but has no knowledge of Quantum Leap.
Can I help you?
Hello, Richard Martinez?
Yes.
Admiral Herbert Williams.
Ian confirms that Ben is trying to reach a specific destination in the future, and he will arrive there in no less than 10, but probably closer to 20 leaps. We also know Janice has stolen her father's old Quantum Leap equipment from her mother and has opened a remote link into Ziggy for the purpose of predicting what actions Jen, Magic, Addison, and Ian will make in the future. Martinez knows exactly who Ben is and where he is from and threatens his life if he continues to follow him.
I know what you're doing, but if you value your life, you need to stop following me.
So, armed with this information, we have a theory why Ben leapt in the first place and where we think he is going. Ben was likely working on the project months before when he comes across someone on the team, perhaps Addison, accessing Ziggy's internal information. When he asks what she is doing, her answers don't make sense. In fact, Addison is not really acting like herself. Ben, realizing this isn't Addison, threatens to call security. And that's when we find out it's actually Martinez who has leapt into Addison from the future and is looking for data that allows someone to pinpoint a jump, send someone there, and then bring them back, giving them total control of each quantum leap. Ben wants to know why he didn't get this from his own timeline or why he didn't ask someone from the team in the future. Martinez hesitates, then reveals because the team is not there in the future, that Quantum Leap is now being used for covert military operations to change events in the past that ensure military success in the future, whatever the cost. Martinez's single-minded nature makes him think Ben might just tell him. So he asks, "Are you going to help your country or what?" Ben tells him this isn't what Quantum Leap was created for, and he's not going to help him. Martinez says, "Fine, have it your way. I'll just have to hunt down Dr. Beckett then. Thanks for nothing." And Martinez leaps out of Addison's body, leaving her confused as to why she's there. Ben doesn't say anything to Addison so he can process what just happened. If the military uses Quantum Leap for their own purposes, this could be a disaster for the world. Ben realizes he has no idea how far in the future this guy came from, and because of that, he has no way to prepare or stop what might be coming. He wonders if there is a way to follow him. Utilizing information he gets from Ziggy when Martinez leapt in and out of Addison, he thinks he might be able to follow and stop the other leaper before he gets the information he's looking for. Worried that the team might shut him down and not let him go, he reaches out to Janice, who was booted from the program but probably knows more about it than anyone else. Ben would also know how much Janice cares about Sam and would want to stop Martinez from getting to him. Janice helps Ben plot Martinez's course, and Ben makes the decision that he is going to be the one to jump and not tell anyone on the team. Janice agrees to be Ben's guide and reminds him she has access to all of her father's old equipment and that she'll just need access to Ziggy so she can stay one step ahead of the team during Ben's mission. Ben had to leap at a very specific moment in order to be able to match Martinez's leaps and follow him. As the story unfolds, we'll slowly learn more and more about these events. And just before Ben leaps in the second to last episode of Season 1, Janice will find out the truth about where Ben is going and use the imaging chamber she has built and her father's old hand link. Addison will glitch out, confused as to what's happening as Janice takes over. But she only has a moment to warn him. "It's not what we thought, Ben. They are the..." Ben leaps and finds himself back at the Quantum Leap project. Although instead of his team, there is nothing but military people in uniform running everything. A high-ranking general is standing in front of him, and Martinez is next to him. The general says, "Welcome home, Ben. We've been waiting for you." The general gestures over to a platform where Ben sees an older version of Janice standing next to a face he recognizes, Dr. Sam Beckett. Ben tells the general, "Ziggy isn't going to be a part of what you are doing here." To which the general answers, "We don't need a Ziggy when we have a Lothos." After a stunned moment, Ben finishes the sentence Janice started to say before the jump. "Evil Leapers." Martinez has a big smirk on his face as he says, "I told you not to follow me." The camera zooms in on Ben and then zooms in on Scott Bakula as Sam, and Season 1 comes to an end with the birth of the Evil Leapers. Now keep in mind, this is an educated theory based on what we know, as well as hopeful thinking that Scott Bakula will change his mind and join the show before Season 1 ends. The Evil Leapers end up becoming a big part toward the end of the original series and show us how big the stakes are in the Quantum Leap universe. So far, this show is very good, but it does feel like something is missing. We believe this is an antagonist. Hopefully this is where we are going. But what we can say for sure is that we are enjoying the mystery and the journey that this new Quantum Leap continuation is giving us. If you are enjoying the show as well, we are encouraging people to go to Rotten Tomatoes and certify the show as fresh. When it was learned Scott Bakula wouldn't be reprising his role, at least initially we hope, people began rating the show based on this information alone. The show has more than proved it's continuing to tell the Quantum Leap story, and that includes its legacy characters. So if you'd like Peacock to give it a second season, show your support by watching and helping us bring up that audience score. Let's hope this is only the beginning. But what do you think? Are you enjoying the new Quantum Leap show? Do you think this show is taking us to Sam Beckett? Do you think we'll run into Evil Leapers? Did Ben make a mistake not telling his team what he was doing? And how bad do you still want Bakula on the show? Let's talk about it in the comments below. Also, support the channel and check out this incredible Quantum Leap inspired graphic design. Get 20% off your purchase by using coupon code THEPOPCAST. The link is in the description below.
Like, did we just make this happen?
Ian, I can't tie my brain in pretzels about what's going to happen in the future.